Welcome back at C Square. In this lesson we're gonna talk about operation with real numbers, and the first thing we're gonna do is add or subtract integers which are part of real numbers. And I said here one way to do this adding or subtracting is to use number line. For that reason I'm gonna use this example, and I'm gonna start with the first one. 2 plus 3 obviously is 5, but let's see how that works with the number line. So under number line, I'm gonna plot 2, and this plus 3 should tell you move right 1, 2, 3 units, and that will be the number 5. Similar, we can do B, a number line. Again, I'm gonna go to 2, and if you notice here is a plus, but is minus 3. So that means instead of moving right, we're gonna move left 3 units, and this is -1. 2 plus -3 is -1. Another way to do it, plus and minus, you can combine these two signs and get a minus, and either way you get this -1. Now let's take a look to the third one. We have -2 plus 3. So now I'm gonna start from -2, which is 2 units to the left of 0. I'm gonna add 3, so that means from -2 I'm gonna move 3 spots to the right, and that will give us 1. And the last one, we have -2 plus -3. So I'm gonna go here to -2, 1, 2, and again I'm gonna add -3. That means from this -2 I have to move left 3 units, and this will be -5. Of course, in this case you can use also a sign rule that I'm gonna show you a little bit later. -2 plus and minus, these two plus and minus combine as a minus, and that will be -5. Obviously, after a while, by practicing this type of addition and subtraction, you don't need a number line. On this second example, we're going to look how to subtract, which is very similar. I'm going to use the number line. 2 minus 3. So I'm going to go 2, 2, 1, 2, and this minus tells us we should move to the left 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and then it's -1. The second one, again we're gonna go to 2, 1, 2, and we're gonna move left, but this is another left because it's a -3, so in fact we have to move 3 units right, 1, 2, 3, and that will be 5 here. Very similar with the previous example. If you have a double negative, you can change it in a positive, so that is 2 plus 3, and that will be 5. Let's see in C. We're gonna go to -2, 1, 2, and then we have this minus, so that means left 3 units, 1, 2, 3, that will be -5. And let's go to the last one. Last one, it shows us -2 minus -3. So similar with B, the only difference, I'm gonna go to -2, 1, 2, left, -2, and I'm gonna have to move left because it's a negative, but this is another negative, left, left, that will be a right. So I'm gonna move right 3 units, 1, 2, 3. This is 1 here. Also, you can combine these two negative sign, -2 plus 3, and that will be +1 either way. On my next part of this lesson, I'm going to multiply or divide integers, and I said here, if two numbers have the same sign, the product or the quotient is positive. The signs are different, the result is negative. So let's take a look to this one. 5 times -6. 5 times 6 is 30. But then we notice positive, negative, the answer will be negative. Let's take a look to B. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Negative, negative, the same sign, so it stays positive. So 7 times 5, 35. Both have the same sign, negative, so stay positive. And the last one, 84 divided by 4 is 21. They have different sign, negative and positive, so we have a negative. We can add and subtract fractions. So now we move to rational numbers with the same denominator. Add or subtract the numerator, keep the denominator. So on this example A, we notice we have the same 7, the same denominator, keep it, add the numerator, 2 plus 3, and that will be 5. 5 over 7 is the final answer. Simplify if possible. So let's take a look to B. We notice the same denominator, 15, keep it, 8 minus 3. For the numerator, 8 minus 3 is 5, 5 over 15, and again, simplify if possible, 5 over 15. They both are divisible by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, 15 divided by 5 is 3. Let's take a look to the last one here. We have the same denominator of 9, and then we have -5 minus 4. -5 minus 4 is -9. -9 over 9, and we have here -1. And that's it for this example where we add or subtract fraction with the same denominator. My next goal will be to add or subtract fraction with different denominators, and for that reason you have to find the least common denominator or the least common multiple. So let's take a look here. 1 over 5 plus 1 over 7. So the first thing you want to do is to find the least common multiple of 5 and 7. Since these have no common factors, then the least common multiple will be 35. 5 times 7. So this is the new denominator. I'm going to try to write what we call equivalent fraction. And I'm going to do right here that. So we want to start from 1 over 5. We're going to multiply by something, and we're going to get a new fraction that has this denominator of 35. 5 times 7 is 35. I'm going to put the same 7 up here as a numerator, and you notice this is nothing else than number 1. So what's happened when you multiply by number 1? You keep the expression, the 1 over 5 in this case. So 5 times 7, 35. Like I said, 1 times 7, 7. So 7 over 35 is the equivalent fraction for 1 over 5. Similar we're going to do with 1 over 7. We're going to multiply by something, and that something needs to give us the denominator of 35. So if in your mind you have the number 5, that is correct. I'm going to put the same 5 here. Again, you notice this is the number 1. 7 times 5, 35, and 1 times 5 is 5. So this is equivalent fraction, and now we have the same denominator, and we have 7 plus 5, that is 12. Simplify if possible. In this case, no, you cannot simplify. Let's take a look to the next one. And again, we're going to look to this 8 and 5. The least common multiple for 8 and 5 is 40. Nothing in common between these two guys, so you can simply multiply. So 40 for the new equivalent fraction. Now let's see what the equivalent fraction are. 5 over 8 times something, and we end up changing equivalent fraction with a denominator of 40. So if in your mind you're going to say 5 here, that's correct. Again, you notice that one, you don't have to do this one. 8 times 5, 40, 5 times 5, 25. So the equivalent fraction is 25 over 40 for the first one. Similar, we're going to look to the second one. 3 over 5 times something, and we need to get the denominator of 40. So again, 5 times 8 is 40. Again, 8 here. 3 times 8 is 24. So now we have the equivalent fraction. We're going to subtract these two fractions, keep the denominator 40. 25 minus 24, 1, and that's it. The last one is the one we have a little bit of trouble because we look into 12 and 18, and we're going to find the least common multiple. For that reason, you can factor out, and 12 is 6 times 2, 6 is 2 times 3, and again times 2, so we get 2 squared times 3. And similar, we're going to do 18, 9 times 2, and then we have 3 times 3 times 2, and that will give us 2 times 3 squared. So the least common multiple, if you remember, you collect all the factors, 2 and 3 in this case, and then the largest exponent for each factor. So this is the least common multiple, which is nothing else than 4 times 9, which is 36. So 36 is the new denominator, 36. And let's find the equivalent fraction. What should I multiply? 12 to get 36, that is 3. Don't forget to put a 3 here. 5 times 3 is 15. So I have 15 over 36. And similar for 7 over 18. And we need to multiply to get a new equivalent fraction of a denominator of 36. What should I multiply 18 by to get 36? That will be 2. And we have 18 times 2, 36. 7 times 2, 14. So now we have the equivalent fraction. They have the same denominator of 36. And we have 15 minus 14. That will be 1. And that's it for this example. Multiplying, this is another operation that we can do with rational numbers fraction in this case. If the numerator and denominator have common factor, I said simplify first. So let's take a look to this example. And we have here 2 over 3 times power of 7. Nothing here can be simplified, so we're gonna just straight multiply like this. 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 7 is 21. And like I said, no simplification. What about the second one? We notice again there is nothing to simplify here, so we're gonna multiply, and we have a positive and a negative different sign. The result will be negative. And we have 3 times 1 it's 3, 5 times 2 is 10. That's it. The last one, C, is the one where if you notice we can simplify first, and I'll suggest you to do that. So if we take a look here, 5 goes in 10 2 times, and 3 goes in 12 4 times. So what do we have here? When we simplify, we still have a 1 here. So we have, in fact, 1 over 4 times 1 over 2. Now no simplification is possible, and we have 1 times 1, that is 1. 4 times 2 is 8. And that's it. If you multiply first, 5 times 3 is 15, and 12 times 10, 120, then you have to simplify and by 15, and you're gonna get still 1 over 8. I think it's better to simplify first. Dividing fraction, dividing rational numbers, you have to multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. So let's take a look here. We have 2/3 divide by 5/7. So you keep the 2 over 3, you change the division in multiplication, and you flip the fraction. Keep, change, flip. And then it's like the previous example. Take a look if you can simplify first. No way here. So we're gonna do 2 times 7, 14, 3 times 5, 15, and that's it. Let's take a look to the second one. First of all, let's keep the first fraction, 3 over 5, change the division in multiplication, flip the second one. Okay, so now we can move to the multiplication And we have, first of all, let's see if we can simplify. 3 goes in 6 2 times, and that's it. So we have a negative 1 here, right? Negative 1 over 5 times 7 over 2. And now we have what? 1 times 7 it's 7, 5 times 2 it's 10. And don't forget, negative and positive, different sign. The answer will be negative. Let's go to the last one on this example. We're gonna keep the 5 over 12. We're gonna change division and multiplication. We're gonna flip 10 over 3. The next thing will be to look if we can simplify. You notice here 12 and 10, they are both divisible by 2 even numbers, right? So 12 divided by 2 is 6, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we have here 5 over 6 times 5 over 3. No simplification possible now. 5 times 5, 25. 6 times 3, 18. And that's it with dividing fraction. What about mixed number? Mixed number, if you need to add or subtract, most of the time I'll suggest you to change them into improper fraction, like in this example. Okay, in this example here, we can keep them exactly like that. We have 17 plus 6, that is 23. And then we have 3 over 7 plus 1 over 7, that is 4 over 7. So that is an example where you don't really need to change it. However, if you need the number to be as a improper fraction, you just have to do 23 times 7, and that is 161, and then add 4, and that will be 165. So 165 over 7 will be the improper fraction for 23 and 4 over 7. Most of the time, I think the improper fraction is better. Let's take a look to B. B, that method does not work. 2 over 9 minus 5 over 9 is a negative 3 over 9, so it really doesn't work that way. So let's change the first one in a improper fraction. So we have 12 times 9, that's the first thing you're gonna do, which is 108 plus 2, that is 110. So 110 over 9, that will be the equivalent form for the 12 and 2 over 9, minus 5 over 9. And now we keep that 9, the denominator, and we have 110 minus 5, 105. This is a good answer. If you want to change in a mixed number, divide 105 by 9 and you get 11. Then we have 11 times 9 is 99, and plus 6 is going to be 105. 6 over 9 can be simplified, so the simplest form will be 11 and 2 over 3. This answer and this answer are equivalent answer. Both of them are good. Most of the time I prefer the improper fraction. Let's take a look to this one. Again, another example where you can simply do 11 plus 6, that is 17, and 2 over 5. And we can change that in improper fraction. 17 times 5, that will be 85, plus 2, 87 over 5. And let's take a look to the last one. The last one, we have to change both mixed number in improper fraction. 14 times 9, that will be 126 plus 5, 131 over 9, plus minus, and we have 3 times 18, 3 times 18, that will be 54 plus 15, that will be 69 over 18. And now we need to come with the equivalent fraction. The least common denominator for 9 and 18 is 18. So the second fraction just stay as it is, nothing to be changed. But here we have 9, this we have 18, so we just simply multiply 131 by 2. That will be a shorter way, and that will be 262. And the last step, we keep the 18, and then we do 262 minus 69, and that is 193. Take a look if it can be simplified. Then no, it cannot be simplified. So this is the final answer. To multiply and divide mixed number, change them into improper fraction. So in this case, you have no choice. You have to change this guy in improper fraction to multiply. So let's take a look. We have 8 times, and then we have 6 times 7, 42 plus 1, 43. And in fact, you want to put this probably like 8 over 1. If you want to see like a fraction, you don't really need to do that. So then we have 8 times 43, and that is 344. 1 times 7 is 7. And again, you can change that in mixed number. I'm not going to do that. I will keep it like that. Let's take a look to B. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1, 10. 10 over 3 times 6 over 7. And here, take a look if you can simplify. We can. 3 goes in 6. 2 times, right? So we have 10 over 1. Okay, remember here we have a 1. Times 2 over 7. 10 times 2, 20. 1 times 7, 7. And let's take a look to this example. First of all, I will keep the 9, change division. In fact, the first thing, let's change the mixed number in an improper fraction. So we have division here, and we have 6 times 5, 30, plus 3, 33 over 5. Now we can do what I want to do, 9 times 5 over 33. Okay, I can put a 1 here. Don't really need that. Now I notice we can simplify here. 9 and 33, they are divisible by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 33 divided by 3 is 11. So we have in fact 3 over 1 times 5 over 11. 3 times 5, 15. 1 times 11, 11. And that's it for C. And the last example in this lesson will be this one. Again, we want to change in improper fraction. 12 times 5, 60, plus 2, 62, 62 over 5, divide by 5 times 6, 30, plus 1, 31, 31 over 6. So we're going to keep the first fraction, change it in multiplication, and flip the second one. And here, oh, here it pays off if we take a look and notice 31 goes in 62 2 times. Okay, so that is an easy way to do it. So we have 2 over 5 times 6 over 1, and that will be 2 times 6, 12. 5 times 1 is 5, and that's it. If you enjoyed this lesson on operation with real number, don't forget to click the like button and come back on C Square for more help. Thank you.